Hello friends, welcome to Knitography. I'm Patricia and I'm coming to you from my little farm in the middle of Norway. It's been a really busy morning here on the farm. We have been winterizing and doing chores and mucking up, and we've moved the fence out a bit wider in the field. So it's the quiet time of day now. We've been fighting a bit of rain pouring down, and then we'll have moments of sunshine. And while it started to rain again, I thought it was the perfect time to sit down and to talk with you about my very favorite thing to knit, and that is mittens. I began a series in the springtime talking to you about the Fairytale mittens, the Selbuvotter. Then people were so interested, I began to distribute the book through my farm shop. We've sold out of the book. There are no more books available from the publisher or in the bookshops locally. But I want to say before I begin the sharing that if you are interested, possibly you are hearing this for the first time, and you want to also join in, or you're inspired to knit the Fairytale mittens, I want you to know that there are ebooks available with a selection of the mittens from the book. All of the mittens are not available in the ebook, but they are translated to English and are available for those of you that are keen and want to join in, even though you cannot get your own copy of the book. And once again, I do apologize to those people that were disappointed. Possibly you were inspired and wanted to have the book. I received many messages of disappointment, but the publisher is not at this time going to do any sort of reprint. So what we have is we have the ebooks to enjoy, and they are easily downloadable. You can purchase them through Ravelry, and those links will be available below. So don't be disheartened if you get really inspired. I understand being inspired and wanting to knit the mittens, but those are the patterns that are available to us now. If you were lucky to get a copy of the book, then you know that the translation vocabulary is available on my website. So you can go there. I have received an enormous amount of emails with pictures of people that have knit the mittens using the translations, using the books, and it has been so rewarding to me. It was worth all of the discouragement that I felt in not being able to distribute the book even wider. I never imagined that we would sell out of the book, but we have done so, and those links, as I say, will be below, and you can join in the knitting of the mittens. If you have any questions, of course, you can contact me through my website, knitography@gmail.com, and I will support you in the best way that I can. I have been so fortunate to have the mittens, the original knitted mittens, in my possession now for a very long time. Mitten Day is coming up, and I'm going to be participating in Mitten Day as fully as I can, but also I'm going to be a part of the marketplace, and I'll be taking my mitten blockers to Lillehammer. And for those people that enjoy knitting mittens, will have the opportunity to hopefully, if I make it, purchase or order a pair of Selbuvotter Mitten Blockers that I make here on my farm. If you're new to the channel, I do produce many products, sustainable products, right here on my farm. I create Selbuvotter Mitten Blockers, I create Selbu Sock Blockers, all from the trees in this forest right behind me. We fell many trees to heat our farm. The barn and the farmhouse are all heated by wood from the forest, and then we have a collaboration with some of the felled trees to make the wood plates that I use in creating my mitten blockers from start to finish here on the farm. I am just going to go through the Fairytale mittens with you today. I've been so fortunate to be able to collect a few of the mittens that I didn't have in the springtime that I'll be able to share with you today. But if you are new to the vlog, I do encourage you to go back and watch the previous episodes, because there I have really gone through the introduction of the book. I've talked about the designers, and there are 8 designers. I will mention the designers again because I think it's so important to know that they have so many other patterns. Don't hesitate to go and look at those designers again. You will see other mittens that they have created, and it's really exciting because one of the members of the Voltologa, Tori Seierstad, she's actually designed a mitten for Shetland Wool Week this year, which I think is absolutely so exciting for her. I've got to get my hands on that pattern because I really want to knit it as well. I think it's so exciting that a Norwegian designer has a mitten pattern in Shetland Wool Week. So the book goes through knitting of the cuffs. It goes through the Latvian braid, how to knit the thumbs. If you download the PDFs, I'm sure all of that information is there. It talks about color dominance. It's got all, I've just gone through the book, the skeleton of the book already in other previous vlogs. But today I want to go back right to the start, to the Askeladden mitten. Now, Askeladden is really hard for me to translate because I do not know what that fairy tale is in English. To me, it's either a very Scandinavian fairy tale or it's a very Norwegian fairy tale. But really, the fairy tale is about some brothers, and they go along the road and they find 3 items, and these items are meant to use to quiet this princess who never stops talking. This is the basis of my understanding for this fairy tale. But what's funny is Anne Sheehan, she is the designer of the basic mitten in this book, and she makes a little joke that he goes along the road and he finds a mitten. So if you read Norwegian, it's really funny, but it's a little bit hard to translate in English. But the point of this mitten is really to have a basic mitten for people to knit and to use lots of different kinds of wool and gauges and different needle sizes so that you get the feel for knitting mittens. So in other words, you might use thin wool and thin needles, or you might use thick wool and thick needles, and it kind of lets you explore with your leftover yarns ways to create bigger mittens if you need to knit a mitten for a man size, or if you need to knit a mitten for a woman size, or how to knit a child size. It's really genius because when you learn to knit this basic mitten, you learn a lot about increases and decreases and how to knit cuffs and how long you want your cuffs and so on. And you get to use lots of your leftover yarns. And not only that, it's just a really practical mitten. So that was the reason for putting this mitten in at the very beginning. And when I started this series, I did not have any of these mittens, but of course now I do have them. So I just want to say that they wanted to just have a basic knitting mitten. It goes through the sizes. It gives you lots of so many alternatives. Of course, Norwegian wools. Rauma Tretral, the Rauma DK, Dalegarn. She gives you a gauge and a needle size. But really, this mitten, very basic. Like I told you, it goes through the same pattern. But I want to show you these mittens. Anne Sheehan, She is one of the most inspirational women of the Voltologa. I have learned so much from her regarding my natural dyeing. And last year, I wanted so much to just, I knew, I always have the vision of what I wanted to do on the farm. But I've been following her for a long time, even before I went to Gül. And I had no knowledge really of what she was talking about, but I knew that I wanted to acquire some of her naturally dyed wool, and I'm going to use it in a Kate Davies yoke. This has been sitting on my farm desk as inspiration to me for almost a year now. She is the dyer behind Sauen på Hogan, which means the sheep on the hill. And I do think she has her yarns available in a yarn shop in Oslo. Verbit, I think, is the name of the shop. This is Roma Tutrol, which is used mostly in the knitting of bunad socks. So this yarn is especially used for the folk socks that are knit. But I wanted a rainbow, and look how vibrant the colors are. I could go into what she used to dye them, but that's not my purpose today. Maybe I'll share them again when I start talking about the natural dyeing. But I wanted to show you the variety of sizes that you can get from, and these are all the mittens that are in the book, the variety of sizes that you can get from this one pattern. She's got this large man-size mitten. It has a beautiful Latvian braid detail, so that would give you an opportunity to practice the knitting of the cuff and the Latvian braid, and to knit in a man size. Change your gauge and knit in a man size. And then she's got, I would say this is probably a woman size, and so you see there's another, the basic cuff. And these are also in the book. And then she's got a little child size, and you see she's been really playful with this one, where the cuff is knit in stripes in the top. This is just so fun. I love these. So really just using your imagination and creativity to knit this basic pattern. And then she shows you how you can do some other playful colors, and she's got a crocheted flower here. So this basic pattern from Anne Sheehan is really the foundation to begin the book, so that you get the opportunity, you know, it's going to support you when you're knitting the other mittens in the book, to know what needle size you are going to need for yourself, to check your gauge. This is an excellent pattern to get you started. Then we arrive at the mittens that I have already talked about and I've already shared, and that so many of you have already knit. The next pair of mittens, Venkerual's blueberry mittens. Blueberry forest mittens, actually. I loved seeing these on Instagram. Most people knit them in the traditional blueberry color, but there's the child one. And we talked all about these mittens, so you can go back and you can look at those vlogs. I tried to focus on a mitten every time I had a vlog, and I give lots of explanation about them. And then the next mitten was the 3 Billy Goat Scruff, and this one is one of the ones that I saw lots of these on Instagram. I think people really enjoyed knitting these. And here they are again, just to have a little look at them. I go into a lot of detail about these in previous vlogs. And then we move along to one of my favorite ones, the Fairytale flowers. And several of you knit these in such beautiful colors. I've seen these in many colors. And I knit a pair also in the spring in red, which I gave as a gift. I've knit these a couple of times. I really do love these. And then we get to the Eventude leaf mittens that are next in the book. And this was the mitten that the Voltologa used to demonstrate how different gauge could appear when everybody used the same needles and everybody used the same wool, and they did sort of an experiment with this one. And this one is a very versatile pattern because you can have the leaves down the middle, or you can have the forest leaves all over, or you can just have one at the top. So I went through these mittens also in previous vlogs. And then, of course, one of my favorite ones is the little goat that can count to 10. One of my previous vlogs is about this mitten, and you see them here, and there's the numbers all over them. And this one is so clever with the number 10 on the thumbs. And I love these mittens. These are just, this one is so genius. These are wonderful. And then we move into the Fir Tree by Hans Christian Andersen, and I shared those mittens with you in previous vlogs. And this one is the fir tree with the little rabbits and that beautiful story. And I love the green ones. So these are two examples. I don't think the green ones are actually photographed within the book. But this is a lovely fairy tale by Hans Christian Andersen. And then I shared with you the golden bird. This one, Fairytale. And this is quite a complicated fairy tale where they go through the forest and everything is golden, and they've put this little detail with sequins on it. I don't have the actual mittens, the black and gold mittens, but I really love those. I think those would be beautiful with some golden beads. But this is a beautiful palm pattern. And this is the traditional lacy cuff. The next mitten, many of you have knit and enjoyed, and this is another easy, basic. This is from Hansel and Gretel, and I actually did not, even though I talked about these a little bit, I actually did not have these mittens, and I tracked them down. These are the original Witches Candy mittens. It's a beautiful pattern. The Witches Candy mittens. As I say in previous vlogs, I'll just pause there and let you know that I've explained and translated on my vlog all of the patterns. All of the patterns follow the same layout. So you get the size, you get the yarn, you get the gauge, you get the needle size, you get the measurements, you get how to knit the cuff, you get how to knit the over the hand, and you get how to do the thumb, and they're all charted, and it's really straightforward. They're all the same. So once you have those few translations that you need on the vlog, you're good to go. I really like this one where they did the rainbow colors. I actually think I've knit not in the bright rainbow colors. I've knit them in some favorite candy colors. One of the mittens that I didn't have before that I have now are the Nightingale mittens. This is the Nightingale story. What's lovely about this mitten is you get a corrugated rib. This is a really beautiful cuff, and you get the tree that the nightingale is in, and the nightingale is on the very top. Now this is a different one. It's another anatomical with a slight Selbu top. These are beautiful, these bold colors. These were designed by Tori Sayerstock. And then after the Nightingale mittens, and there's lots of beautiful pictures of others I actually might have the other, yes I do. I have one of the other Nightingale mittens. I like this one in the gray color. These are the, you know, very big contrast to this bold, the bold colors. And then you get these softer, you can do them in softer colors as well. Graphic, this is very graphic colors. And then we start getting into another really popular pattern that several of you sent to me photos, and that is the North Star Mittens by Vankerul. And here again, you've got the Selbu style, you've got the Selbu style thumb, and you've got this beautiful traditional, this is a very traditional Selbu women's cuff with the lace. And these were quite popular. I saw many people knitting the North Star mittens on Instagram. So here are the two that are photographed within the book. This is a beautiful rose star pattern. It has the 8 points. That's kind of traditional in the Selbu mittens. And you see again the photograph. You've got the charts. Here's this one photograph so that you can see the beautiful thumb chart. And now you get into one that I think I shared this one on Instagram and actually haven't talked about in my vlog. I really wanted to track down the original. This is so fun. This is Nukken. And Nukken doesn't really translate into English. Nukken is like a water monster. He's dark and mystical, and he traps people and fairies in the water. And she says that maybe he does it because he's lonely. Here you can see when you put them together, across your arms, it makes his little face. So I actually didn't get to see the original Nukken mittens, but these were sent to me, and I really love this pattern, and I have made these for my children. You've got all the charts and the children's size, which is really nice because these are fun for kids because they're a little bit scary. And then this was another pattern. Several of you knit the Fox's Widow. It's got the characters on it, and you see here the palm and the thumb, another Selbu style. What I really love about this one is the cuff. And you see how the colors shine through. I don't really know what this technique is called, but it's such a beautiful technique for the cuff, where the pearl, you've got the stranded color work happening, and so it shows up in the pearl stitches. That's a beautiful mitten. The next mitten in the book is one that I have knit many of, and I can also recommend this one as a really great beginning after you do the basic mittens. If you're new to stranded color work and you want to get really good with it or practice your skills, this one is called Skogens Kongle, and that means the forest pine cone. And this is also a little joke because the moose in Norway is called Skogens Kong, the king of the forest. But this is a play on words for Skogens pine cone. And I think of all of the Fairytale mittens, as far as gifts go, I have knit this one most often in many, many different colors. And what's really nice about this one, it's the simple cuff, it's the traditional two-striped like Selbu cuff, and then you've got only 4 stitches, so you're not really catching floats. This is a mitten that you can do before you catch your floats. And this one, can you just imagine all of the beautiful colors? This is the one that's photographed in the book, and I've done it in many different colors. And this comes in a, you see here's another kind of color a graphic one. That picture's actually in black and white, but it shows you how you could do it in the grays. You've got the charts for the grown-ups and for the children, because this is a great mitten for kids. The next mitten is the Forest Fairy Garden Mittens. And these are such a beautiful, look how strong those colors are. These are the original from the book, and these are actually designed by Tori Seierstad again. And she's the designer of the Eventyr Blomster pattern. And you see these are, they kind of go together when you knit them. So it's sort of a motif, a continuation of the motif, which I think is so beautiful. And these colors, and I could also imagine these in a dark blue and a white, would just be gorgeous. Tori has a real gift for complicated charts that just look beautiful. They're not difficult to knit, but she can do a lot with they're just, it's complicated looking, but it's easy to knit. You get a lot of beauty from the charts. I really love that one. One of the most beautiful pair of mittens, there's a mitten for every occasion in this book, is the Snow White mittens. And I love these mittens. If you need a mitten that is more of a fancy mitten, I love these. These are stunning. I think I've knit 3 or 4 pairs of these as gifts, and also I knit my own pair of these to wear on Satnamai. But you've got this beautiful, delicate cuff. This is a crochet cuff. So once you knit the cuff, you go back and you do this little crochet detail, and then you've got this beautiful lace. And this is a rounded, like you might know in a sock, a star or a rounded decrease top. These are just stunning. Such beautiful, and perfect for Snow White. Perfect for the story of Snow White. The next mittens are the Surya Moria Vot, and once again designed by Tori Seierstad, where you see the complicated, beautiful pattern. You know, more details in her patterns. Just beautiful, lots of beautiful design going in. And really, Surya Moria is like a fantasy castle in Norwegian fairy tales. And I just like, when I read the story, it's like a place that you would come to, and you might describe in English as heaven on earth. And that's how I like to describe it. This is also a very interesting a cuff detail, where you've got little fleas or little, löpor of color. Very beautiful. This is such a beautiful design. I absolutely adore these mittens. I think I've only knit 1 pair of these mittens, and the background that I used was a dark green, but I kept the foreground color in the yellows, in orange, because I think that's such a stunning, you know, if you think about the most beautiful sun or horizon, and you come upon this castle. The next mitten is a baby mitten, and it's Thumbelina. And these were knit. I don't actually have the original. Here you see the little baby Thumbelina mitten in 2 different colors that's photographed in the book. Here are the red ones. If you know the story, the fairy tale of Thumbelina. And here are the ones that I have. These are designed by Silkesauen, Mayfrid, and they're so sweet. Look at the little lace pattern on the edge. And then you've got this little I-cord that you can use to, you know, just secure them on the baby's hand so they don't slip. These are like a newborn size, I guess, with a rounded decrease at the top. I also have a blue one that she shared with me. So, no thumb. The whole thing is like a, like probably knitting a Selbuvotter thumb. And then I tracked down, this is so fun because I tracked the last mitten down from Tori Seyestad, and these are in the book. Look how beautiful they are, photographed. They're the ones that have, this is the Sleeping Beauty mitten, and they have the beautiful buttons sewn on, and they look so gorgeous in the book. But I tracked these down. I didn't have them in the spring, and look how well worn they are. I think she told me they were in her used mitten bag, and you can see these are, she's probably been skiing in these or going on tour. So one side of the mitten is, I think it's a embroidery on the top, and she's added buttons, and then you see the design from the chart on the back. The last mittens in the book are the 3 wishes of Cinderella. Tre nøtter til Askepott. And Askepott in Norwegian is the Cinderella story. This is a story that's shared most often at Christmas time. This is something everybody watches during the days of Christmas. These are so beautiful. These are the original from the book. And again, it gives you all of the information. Everything is laid out so nicely for you. Got all the charts. So beautiful. As I said in previous vlogs, the book ends with a reference for you to look up the Norwegian wool. It's amazing now to me because when I look down this list of wool, you can find Rømme wool at the Woolly Thistle now, in Isolde's shop, Espa Tricot's shop now. It just seems like Norwegian wool is really just out there. I'm also naturally dyeing Rømme Fin Ullgarn for mittens, naturally dyeing it in my farm shop. I have a little cooperation with Rømme in which I'm able to get 100 grams because normally it comes in 50 grams. And although I'll still be dyeing 50 gram quantities, I do have the opportunity for cardigans and such to create skeins like hanks. They're called hespe in Norwegian. Sandnesgarn, Hillesvåg garn is out there. Isolde has the Hillesvåg garn. I'm not sure if Espa Tricot or the Woolly Thistle are going to be getting that, but those yarns are just available. Yeah, they list all of the yarns in the back of the book. So that is what I wanted to share with you. I wanted to make sure that you got to see all of the Eventyrvotter mittens, and to know that if you are watching the vlogs for the first time, maybe you've joined the channel and you're inspired to knit the Fairytale mittens. The book is not available, but the PDF books are there for you. They're translated to English. The patterns are not all there, but the most popular patterns will be there. And no matter which mitten you're interested in, there will be one possibly that you will enjoy knitting. Thank you, friends, for joining me on this adventure of sharing the Fairytale mittens. To those of you that have purchased the book or purchased the PDF ebooks from the Vottaloga, this has been so rewarding to me to share the Norwegian designs outside of Norway. I just feel so privileged to have had the opportunity. I am also very excited to join the members of the Volterlaget in Lillehammer in October on Mitten Day. And I'm hoping that I'm going to have some sort of maybe getting them to sign something or some sort of giveaway for the vlog to share with you on that weekend. So I'm going to travel there. I'm going to be returning the mittens. I'm going to have some sort of special vlog giveaway. I'm looking so forward to it. I'm looking forward to the new designs that are coming out to share with you. Once again, the Volterlaget has many mitten designs outside of this book, many in English also. But as I say, you can use the translations that are provided on my website to knit most any pair of mittens that you would like to knit. And if there's something that I have missed, just email me and I'll quickly add that translation to the vlog. Enjoy your knitting, enjoy your mitten knitting. I hope you'll continue to send me photographs or tag me on Instagram, especially as we begin the season of knitting and wearing mittens again. It's time. It's getting chilly. I've got several pairs that I'm going to be sharing when I get back to my vlog of sharing my own mittens. I have the most exciting mitten collaboration to tell you about in the next vlog. And with that, I wish you a fond farewell here in the middle of Norway from my little farm.